winter 2019 anime slate is full of amazing shows, continuing on from what was an extraordinary 2018. And in this cold season, I'm excited for every single week that I get to spend with Mob, terrified when the promised Neverland rolls around, hyped up at Dororo, happy to swim in the trashy sea that is Domestic Girlfriend, and I am pretty surprised at how much I enjoy Endero. But there is one anime that I love above all others, and it's not Virtual-san looking, despite what my Twitter might lead you to believe, and just don't judge me, okay? We all have our quirks, no. The anime I'm talking about is Kaguya-sama Love is War. And I'm here to convince you that this brilliant show is worthy of your attention, but if nothing else, I just really need to talk about it. It is the best show you're not watching this season, and here's why you should be.
Allow me, mister. Oh, mister. You betcha.
It's based on a well-loved manga series that centres on two geniuses who are both members of the student council. Miyuki, who is president, and Kaguya, his vice. With such high wit and intelligence, the two quickly fall for each other. But with such high wit and intelligence, they refuse to confess, leading to a battle of sorts that creates a series of skits and sketches as they try to lead each other into admitting they've fallen in love. Because after all, love is war. Love is war.
Love is war, love is war, love is war.
This adaptation has both style and substance, but glossing over the latter for now, it would be a huge disservice not to talk about how aesthetic this show's animation is. With Mamoru Hatakeyama at the helm, it was always going to be a gorgeous project, and if you're as much a fan of the Rakugo Shinju series as I am, then his shadowless, almost flat-like character animations return with a vengeance. But ultimately, it's what surrounds the characters that makes for the show's greatest highlights. All the episodes play out with internal monologues from its leads, and further insight is provided by a narrator, so in order to make their thoughts stand out, the animation has to up its game. And each scenario they create in their heads is bolder and bigger than the last, almost as if it's not only a war of love, but a war of imaginations. And even the image they have of each other is a little bit screwed. I particularly like the sadistic nature in which Miyuki depicts Kaguya. And if you want to talk about cute, well, there's no one cuter in this series, in fact, even perhaps all season, than Chika Fujiwara. This kind, slightly twisted soul constantly offers herself up as a way to either quell or expand the duo's mind games, and it's actually her involvement that inspired me to make this video in the first place, specifically her dance and the ending to episode 3. It was key animated through rotoscoping entirely by Nao Nakayama, who was originally an animator at Kyoto Animation, and as an anime fan, we can pass this scene off as nothing more than a joyous, well-animated ending sequence. But if you come from the manga, then this whole section is littered in references to a chapter that won't even make it into the anime, and even front covers from the manga itself. It's just abundantly clear that the staff led by Hatakeyama care deeply about what they're adapting, both in style and substance. In my opinion, the best comedy anime are those that spend time creating characters that an audience can latch onto, and when you're combining genres, then this is even more important. For example, part of the reason that Hinamatsuri's comedic elements work so well is down to the care afforded to its cast. Hina, Anzu and Hitomi all partake in their own brand of crazy, but there is also a heartwarming edge that worms in unexpectedly. And this is something that begins to bloom in Kaguya-sama. Within its first few episodes, you could chalk it up as a skit-for-skit comedy and nothing more. I did find Kaguya sending her staff out onto the path of Miyuki every day in order to subliminally brainwash him into buying a smartphone so she could message him online pretty funny. But I didn't expect to find myself charmed by her bashfulness when he acts out his confession, or feel genuinely touched by her desire to walk to school on her own for the first time. Those back and forth comedic moments are what keep the show moving, but it's this unexpected heartwarming edge that builds its backbone. So what you have isn't just a skit-for-skit comedy, it's a skit-for-skit comedy with three-dimensional characters. One where your allegiances change week in, week out. So who do I want to win the war? Well, at the moment I don't know, but for me this anime is winning the battle of the season, because couple that with its incredibly stylish animation, and I just can't look away. You see, that's the key for me. It's shows like this and Mob Psycho that serve as a constant reminder, especially this season, of how amazing animation is as a medium. That I can find myself swept up in Mob's empathy, but I can also see how much fun it must be to work on a show that can explore all of these varieties of animation. And then on the flip side, I can laugh at Kaguya-sama, but then marvel in awe at how a talented team can add more vibrancy to a show than existed originally. And even though I believe that the latter has so much style and so much substance, I know that it's not perfect. The narrator can get a little bit annoying and this kind of comedy isn't for everyone, but I hope that somewhere along this long battlefield, you and me can meet in the middle, and in the name of love and war, we can agree that Chika Fujiwara's stance is a blessing on this cruel, cruel, cruel world.
森おかえり
Allow me, Mr. Oh, Mr. 知らされるほど切ない二人だけの危ないゲーム Love is war, love is war, love is war